And now to introduce today's program, Ivar Shaki is going to introduce the person that's going to introduce our speaker. So Ivar, take her away and unmute.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to make your attention to my good friend, Hans Brouwers. Hans is from Holland. Holland in Europe formerly is called the Netherlands. And people who live there are the Dutch, not the Danes. This is the problem we have in our little club. Who is the Dutch and who is the Dane? Are they the same? And so forth. They are not. They're very good friends, but they're not the same. Anyway, Hans has been living in Mexico for quite some time, mostly on the coastal area, which is warmer and nicer, and the ocean than in San Miguel. But the sun here is wonderful. The weather is dry. And so we had the pleasure of seeing Hans for quite some time in our club. And otherwise, he has been linked to our meetings in the way we are actually linked right now. So without further ado, I will leave the presentation of the speaker to Hans. They are from the same country, and the country is Holland or the Netherlands, not Denmark. Hans, take it from here, please.
Thank you, Ivar. I'm proud to be one of the only 2 Europeans in this club. But I must say that, and also appreciate that Copenhagen and Amsterdam are not in the same country, as it was said the other day. But we got this all cleared up, I think. So I officially moved to the Rotary Club in Amsterdam because most of the time I live in Amsterdam, but I'm in San Miguel at this time. So in my club in Amsterdam, I am very proud to introduce Wendell Stontberg, or Stontberg in the American way of pronouncing it, and she has been very active in the program of the plastic soup. You know, there is a lot of water in Holland, so there's a lot of soup, and therefore also a lot of plastic. And she has been initiating a program in Amsterdam and got the Amsterdam Rotary Clubs also involved. And she will now tell you all the details. Wendell, it's up to you now.
Thank you so much, Hans. It's a real pleasure to be here at the other side of the world. You all in the sunshine and the heat, and we here in the beautiful sunshine and the snow, which we love because it's been such a long time. I will take you with my story about the EndPlasticSoup, and I start my presentation by oh no, wait a minute, I have to do that again. Here, the share screen, share sound. And the view.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
This is the one. I see some people in the, okay, you will see my screen. This is the logo. This is the EndPlasticSoup. We started when I went to my PETS conference in 2016, before I became president of my Amsterdam Nachtwacht Club. They asked us to come up with a program where Rotary clubs could collaborate, work together. Because normally we all have our own projects, and now the question was, can we please come up with something that we can spread together? And one of the clubs in Amsterdam is the oldest club in Amsterdam. It's called Amsterdam. And they are part of a European network called the Leonardo da Vinci Network with 12 European clubs. And every year they award a young scientist with a special prize. And that year the Amsterdam Club had to do that, and they awarded Bojan Slat. And I don't know whether you've heard of Boyan Slat, but he's the founder of the Ocean Cleanup. And he's the one, he's only now 24 or 25 years old. And he started raising so much awareness in the Netherlands for the plastic soup. And what is plastic soup? Let me take you with me. This is a nice picture of one of the former islands of the Netherlands in the Molukken. And the people live in the plastic. What we call the plastic soup is all the plastic waste in the environment. And this is how we started in 2018. And Rotary International made a nice short movie, which I'd like to show to you. I hope the sound is good for you.
The sound is not on, Wendell.
Pardon?
The sound is not on.
Oh.
There is no sound.
Then I have to share again, because I think the share sound is on. Okay, then I just move on.
Yeah.
So this is the year we started, 2018, and to work together with lots of Rotary clubs. We started in Amsterdam. This is the Rijksmuseum, and in the morning we went plastic soup fishing with 100 Rotarians from all over Europe. And in the afternoon we took 100 children who don't come that much in the center of Amsterdam. And we had lots of fun, and that's how I think you're forced. The fifth rule of the which you cited 10 minutes ago, to have fun together, is also very important in Rotary. To have fun and with your family and friends. We have three main issues. That's raising awareness, taking actions, and do that together with alliances. And well, oh, sorry. Bert? Sorry, my dog. Our ambition is, so by 2050, there's no more plastic soup in the oceans, no more plastic waste, and not on our streets, rivers, forests, parks, and streets. That means we have to make a lot of changes. But with lots of Rotary, Rotaract clubs, Interact clubs, we can make a difference. Let's try to do that. This is one of the first clubs who joined us. This is the club in Norway, Sotra, and they live on the beach. And in 2016, a big whale, yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we do not see anything on your screen at all. We see you. I don't know whether you are trying to, but I thought you should know that we're not seeing your shared, your presentation.
Let me try and do it again, because then something is going wrong. I start screen sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You're coming back on now. All right. Okay, you're back on. I'm sorry for the interruption. You can continue.
No, thank you. This one you've seen?
Yes.
Yes, here the sound was not right. Don't know why. And then we started here. This is the logo and our ambition. By 2050, no more plastic soup. And three main reasons for us is to try and raise awareness, take actions, and do that together with alliances. The alliances are for us the bigger NGOs who do the real work. And we think that as Rotary and Rotaract and Interact clubs, we can make quite a difference. Here I have a picture of one of the first clubs who joined us in Norway, in Sotra, Rotary Club Sotra. if you become a member of the EndPlasticSoup, we make you this nice flag with your name and the logo of the EndPlasticSoup and the Rotary. And in their fjord, I think 5 years ago, a big whale came swimming in to die. And the whale really had a big message, because when the whale had died and they cut it open, lots of plastic bags came out of its stomach. And the university took all the inquiries, and they really were shocked. And they said, well, this whale is coming here and sending us a message. We have to do something. And since that moment, they go, I think every 4th Sunday, they go and cleaning the fjords. That's of course already too late, because the plastic has already been in the sea. But we know we get a lot of plastics from the fishery, but also a lot of plastic from the people. This is how much plastic there is produced now in the world, and we recycle only a little bit. That's really a problem. And recycling has a lot of different meanings, because in Holland we say when we recycle plastic that a lot of times it's just exported. And then we have a contract with a company who's telling us it will be recycled, but we don't know. And now we are investigating what's really happening to the plastic. And those figures are shocking as well, as we are finding out now ourselves. Here we see that the production of plastic in Europe is quite on a stable level. The production of plastic outside Europe is growing, and we know in 10 years' time this amount will have tripled, because we are building huge factories to make nurdle plastic, and in the beginning of plastics, and it's one of the lifelines of the oil industry. And I think we really have to try and change that, because we produce more than 1,300 kilos plastic per person in the world. And lots of that plastic is still around. We started producing in 1950, and now we know it will never go away. It will only get smaller and smaller. Also, if we go to the beaches in the Netherlands, it looks clean. And if we dig for 30 minutes, sorry, Bert, kan je alsjeblieft Floyd even houden? Ik ben een presentatie aan het doen, sorry.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, sorry, my dog. I hope my husband will take him outside or something. But as you see, this is a real problem, and it will never go away. And the chemist in your club will know that it's part of why we like plastic, but because we can do lots of things with it. But the other way is that it will just get smaller and smaller. And we know now that it's in our food chain, it's in our bodies, it's in our unborn childs, it's influencing our hormonal system and lots of other. And we only started this research in the Netherlands 2 years ago. And it's that we really know what the influence is in our own bodies. And not only in our bodies for the CO2 absorption, and also the oxygen of our planet. Where are these garbage patches? And we have 5 big garbage patches. This is Hawaii. This is the biggest one. We only see a small part of it. Lots of the plastic has sunk already. These are huge areas, and you can't just collect it. You really have to go out and keep fishing for it. I think we have to clean it up, but it's a real task we have to do. This is a nice graph which shows that it's 1,000 rivers causing 80% of the plastic pollution problem. And this Boyan Slat has made this done all these investigations. We see lots of problems in Indonesia and the Philippines and China and India, but also in Europe, and I think also in Mexico there is lots of problems. And if it's not the plastic, it's the microbeads, because after the plastic has been in the water for 10 or 20 or 30 years, it's the microbeads which are still there. So I think this is a nice thing as Rotary clubs to do an action and raise awareness and have fun together and work with all alliances. We work with ESRAG and WASRAG. We're trying to become an own RAG now, and the International Board of Rotary will decide on that in 2 months maybe. This is me with the plastic hat on the conference in Hamburg, and in Hamburg we collected more than 1,500 people who signed our petition and said they want to do something with their club to raise awareness. And that gives lots of energy. So many clubs who see the problem and try to do something about it. And it's not only you can do an action, but you can also change your own behavior. It's a problem we all can try and change. And this is taking a plastic diet. There is a nice app you can just download in your app store, My Little Plastic Footprint app. It looks like this, and there's also a lovely microbead app, and it tells you exactly how many microbeads you leak every month into the system. And the microbeads we know are not taken out. We are not able yet. We don't have the membranes to get them out of the water. So please take a look at these apps and try to change your own behavior. But we also provide a school challenge action packages or sport challenge, or how to organize an event, or do something with the shops in your vicinity that they reduce the plastic use. In the Netherlands, we are very happy that since we have been lobbying, or they have been lobbying for more than 20 years to get the plastic statiegeld. Hans, help me even.
That's the money you leave for a bottle, in the store.
Yeah, the English word, I just forget, but we have it now for plastic. Are we going to have it this summer for plastic and also for cans, which of course is a big win, because then less plastic will be found in nature, we hope, because we give it a
deposit
value.
Yeah,
deposit, that's the word I was. Thank you very much. Deposit, plastic deposit. What do the Rotary clubs do here? I give you some examples of what we do in our vicinity. In Germany, in the eastern part of Holland, they made a lovely jigsaw puzzle. I don't know whether you do puzzles in Mexico, but we love to do puzzles in the Netherlands and in Germany. And this is the Holger Knaak, the Rotary International president, getting the first puzzle. And they sold all the 5,000 puzzles, and all the money is going to EndPlasticSoup, the 60,000 euros. So we're very happy with that. Another problem is the cigarette butts. Don't know about that in your country, but in the Netherlands, people don't know that cigarette butts is full of microplastic. So we have clubs who make this kind of tiles. The C starts here, don't litter, etc. All kind of things invented by clubs in their own. I'd also like to show you some solutions. This is the Interceptor. It is a huge machine, all autarkic, no people on board. You only have to get the waste so now and then. And it gets 50,000 kilo of plastic waste every day out of the river. The first one is in Jakarta and one in Santo Domenico. And they got only 4 now working. They started 1.5 years ago, and because of COVID, it's slowing down. But this is one way to try and avoid getting more plastic into the oceans. But of course, the real problem is to reduce our plastic use. This is the bubble barrier. I will show you more around in a minute. This is a litter trap, just a small thing to where the plastic is trapped. This is also a small boat in Germany invented, which you can put into smaller rivers. This is a house all built of recycled plastics, and you can just live in your recycled plastic. And this is an educational kit they used in Germany. As EndPlasticSoup EndPlasticSoup board, we the last year we gave grants to 4 different clubs. The first one is the one in Bengue Viejo, and they made themselves this barrier. You can see from old bottles just knitted into a net, and they put it into the river, and after the rain they go and clean up all the mess. They all made it themselves and make it a community project. We have Salvador Rico in the south of Ukiah is his club, and he does lots of good work with cleaning the rivers. Then we gave a grant to the emergency bag and the RC Sotra in Norway, which I told you about, the plastic wheel, and they're cleaning the fjords project. This is a movie, I hope the sound now is right, about the bubble barrier, the Great Bubble Barrier. If the sound is not right, please let me know. This is Amsterdam.
Plastic is in Amsterdam een probleem om meerdere redenen. We zijn werelderfgoedstad, het is niet goed voor de eco. En naast dat het voor de grachten zelf niet goed is, het is wereldwijd een probleem. Dat weten we allemaal inmiddels. En daar waar wij het in Amsterdam kunnen opvangen, het plastic, komt het wereldwijd niet in zee terecht. Ook al zijn we maar heel klein als stad, alle kleine beetjes helpen. We werken samen met Waternet aan het drijfvuilvissen. En om dat ook voor elkaar te krijgen is het zo dat de 4 drijfvuilvisboten van Waternet elke dag in Amsterdam bezig zijn. En die halen maar liefst 3500 kilo afval per dag op.
The bubble barrier is an air bubble curtain, and we create that by placing a tube on the bottom of the river, and through a lot of tiny holes in the tube we then pump air through it, and the rising air bubbles create the bubble barrier. The air bubbles bring plastic which is drifting underwater to the surface, and then at the surface, together with the natural flow of the river, it will be guided to the side and into our catchment system. And this first bubble barrier means for us that we can stop any trash which is entering the city, doesn't flow out further to the North Sea, but also for us personally it means that this is the first step to bring it to the world and hopefully stop plastic in rivers worldwide.
Wij willen de bubble barrier straks in meerdere plekken van Amsterdam neerleggen als blijkt dat het op deze eerste plek een succes is. En wie weet wat na Amsterdam nog meer volgt, want wij geloven in dit initiatief.
So that is the big bubble barrier. What we ask you as a club is to organize an action. And there are different days. You can do it, of course, every day you want. But the 5th of June, we make the Rotary and Plastic Soup Action Day. The 5th of June is the first Saturday in June, and normally the start of our international convention. But it's not all clubs and people are there. It's also nice to do something in your own vicinity with your own family and relatives or pupils, etc. This is also a nice movie.
Children and adults from all over delight in the irresistible flavour of the biggest soup in the world, the plastic soup. Prepared only with unnatural ingredients, just like we found it in the oceans. And yes, we followed the most poisonous recipe. With the strongest shopping bags, the most colourful packaging and all kinds of disposable products, and now with even more clothes microfibers. An unwholesome treat for everyone's palates. Daily eaten by turtles, whales, birds, fish and even shellfish. Get it now in the 40-gram size. The precise amount of plastic each person dumps into the ocean every month. Give in to the latest trend. The soup to end all soups and indeed to end everything and everyone. The plastic soup. Get it now on plasticsoup.info.
That's great.
Yeah, there are lots of nice initiatives, and I really love this app, My Little Plastic Footprints, and my microbeads, because it's something we all can make a difference. I hope there are some questions, and I have some more. This is what we like. If your club decides to become member of the EndPlasticSoup, we give you the flag, and we make some nice material you can use to inspire your friends. And we see that it really inspires also lots of young people who come to the club and say, we want to work with you, this is really nice, we want to be part of this. So we have some things made to show the world around us that Rotary is working on this subject. And of course, it helps a lot that last August, the international board decided that a new area of focus, the protecting the environment, that will really help. I think that lots of clubs will try and support us and support especially the environment by taking action and change our own behavior. That's real a wish. Gives a nice and another, but I think this is enough.
So we do have a couple of questions, Wendella, and I'd love to read them to you. First question is, where does the plastic gathered by the Interceptor bubble barrier end up in the litter trap? Where does it go?
Yeah, that differs from where you are. You normally what we advise the clubs is make an appointment with your local garbage
Recycling
company. What we wish is that it's all recycled, but lots of it is burned, and then some of that is then also for new energy for the gas installations. But that's where we have to work on, and this differs in every country. And what we recently found out that even in the Netherlands, we export lots of our plastic, and that means that we don't know where it is. And that really is a problem. And I think that will be a scandal the coming months, because we recently found out that we say it's being recycled, and now they have put some trackers into the containers, and they found out that they say it's going to, let's say Turkey, but Turkey closed also its borders for recycling, and it's somewhere in Eastern Europe. And most times it's burned. And then you can be happy, because we also know that lots of plastic is just put into another river where the people don't see it anymore, and it's flowing to the oceans as well. And that's what we know is not a good solution. So that's a real good question, and you have to take care of yourself if you do an action that the plastic is taken care of.
Sure. So we have a comment that I think is going to prompt a lot of conversation. So plastic soup is a manufacturing problem, not a consumer problem. We can recycle more, but can EndPlasticSoup put pressure on manufacturers? How can we make manufacturers create less plastic and provide options?
Yeah. Well, we are at this moment, we are with 2 or 3 Rotary clubs in the Philippines. We are talking to Unilever, because Unilever in the Philippines is 30% of the plastic pollution problem in the oceans comes from the Philippines. Half of this plastic is produced by Unilever. So it's really insane. I mean, because they don't have a waste management system as we have in the Netherlands, which is really good, and where we know that lots of plastic is being burned or reused. But in the Philippines, we know it is not. And the Bay in Manila of 50 kilo, is about 50 kilometers, is so polluted. And Duterte now also is convinced that they have to do something, and they are making a plan for 17 years to clean it up. and to recycle or upcycle or burn the plastic, but see that it's no longer going into the sea. But I think it's not, it's because we consume these goods, it's also us. And what we'd like to do is, when the 5th of June, we have this Rotary EndPlasticSoup Action Day. What we thought of what would be nice is that we try that we don't buy any plastic the week before the 5th of June. As ourselves, that we don't go to supermarket and buy things in plastic, but go to the markets or refill things. But just for 1 week a year, try to consume no plastic and see how long we manage to do that. That's really a problem, because we are so used of having plastic all around. And I love plastic, I mean, but no single-use plastic. Plastic is very good, but we should know that we use it or we recycle it, and we don't throw it away in such a big parts, especially in countries where there is no plastic waste or no waste management system.
Sure. So we have a couple of other questions. Would you happen to know how expensive the plastic catching devices are, and can they be fitted to any size boat or to a non-boat catching mechanism?
I know the Interceptor is about the big one. The big Interceptor is about 1 million euros. But then you're not there. Then you have to maintain it, of course, and you have to get rid of the plastic. But to get it there, it's about 1 million euros. I think that's for a lot of countries who have lots of problems with the plastic and the tourism, etc. It's not too expensive. And the small litter trap things are much less expensive. I don't know exact price, but we can find out if you're really interested. And what we also do with the Rotary Club in Egypt and Cairo and the Nile, lots of the fishermen who just go with their rowing boats, they caught about 50 or 60% what they caught was plastic, not fish. And they just threw it back because they couldn't sell it. And now they made a system that they can sell the plastic. They come on board, so they catch the plastic, and they get more money with catching the plastic than catching fish.
Sure, it's sometimes like built-in recyclers.
It's really simple, really simple.
So would you happen to know if there's any educational program available in Spanish?
I don't know, but I know there's lots of children books written. And I think they must also be in Spanish. There are lots in German for kindergarten, there's the real small ones. And we have lots of school educational packages in German and in Dutch, I know. There must be also in Spanish. We are not the only one worried about this plastic soup, but they're working on it. This afternoon I had a talk with the Plastic Soup Foundation, where also happens to work a Wendela, and she told me they are working on a new children book for 9 years and older, and they want us to help them raise funds to translate it immediately in English and Spanish and French and Portuguese. So they're really working on that. But the problem is, we can translate it in Spanish, but in Spain, the problem is different than in your country. So you have to tune it and fine tune it on every country with its own problems. It's not just one problem. It's a worldwide problem, but in every country, it has its own
solution,
appearance and solutions.
Very well. Well, at the moment, I don't have any other questions that have been posted on the chat. We do have a couple of minutes left, so if anyone is inclined to post a question, by all means, please do, and we'll be happy to read it out loud. We do have a comment. One of our members says that, interestingly, the vast majority comes from poor countries, the vast majority of the pollution, and these are more than likely the countries that can't really do anything about the problem, So maybe another suggestion or solution would be to see how countries that have more resources would be able to participate with those that don't, to help the situation in the poor countries.
I think that is the idea of the Rotary, right?
Exactly.
As well, and it's not totally true. I mean, a lot of developing countries have big problems because they you see all the bottles and the big pieces, but we have the problem with the microbeads and the Thames, the big river in London, is so polluted. They're finding out now because you don't see it, but now they're investigating, and universities are working on that. And we also have huge problems in the rich countries. But we don't see it anymore because it's already there for so many years. And it's getting smaller and smaller, as we know, but it's never going away. Unless we really clean it up and we stop producing so much plastics. And the big problem, of course, is that the amount of plastic produced is going to be tripled in 10 years' time. So we really have to change our consuming behavior.
Yeah, to clarify, the microbeads are a result of the broken down plastic. Everything is plastic breaks down into microbeads, and that's the problem because you don't see it, but we all consume it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's not a happy message, yeah?
No.
No.
But also maybe Wendell, at least that's what I learned with joining the Amsterdam group, is that the idea is to follow the success of the polio program that the Rotary clubs in the whole world did. So
that's how we came up with our name, because and polio now is such a big success in Rotary. So we invented the name EndPlasticSoup No. But then Rotary International, the big director, John Hughes, he personally came to us and said, no, we don't want another program like End Polio Now. So you have to skip the word now. We don't want another program like that. So then we skip now, and now it's EndPlasticSoup. Join us now.
Okay.
Wendell, I have a question. How many Rotary clubs worldwide now have joined the effort to end the plastic pollution in our rivers and lakes?
In Hamburg, we had more than 1,500 people who signed the petition, and there's about 800 clubs. 800. And they are 800 clubs who are becoming active. They are from 47 countries. And we have now 110 paying on a regular basis, who are the members and the supporters. And we are building a network with 77 ambassador clubs. And that's our clubs all over the world in those 47 countries who spread the word, who give this Zoom presentation over there and try to connect with other clubs in their district, do presentation on the district conference, etc.
Are there any clubs in Mexico that are involved?
Yes, we have Bengue Viejo, that's in Belize. It's not, that's in your vicinity, isn't it?
Right.
Well, it's only about 1,000 miles, but that's okay.
I have to look that up. I will let Hans know if there's already another. But I think in your district, you should really could become an ambassador and try and spread the message if you feel like it.
What's involved in doing that? If our club decided this was something that we wanted to get involved with, what do? We get a hold of you?
Yeah, well, you become ambassador, and then we have meetings with all the ambassadors. I think 7 times a year on a Friday afternoon, 1 hour, where we share best practices with these ambassador clubs. And what we ask the ambassadors is to Zoom like this to other clubs in your districts and try and organize the cleanups actions or talk to a big company in the vicinity, or if you find the nurdles. You know, the nurdles is the starting of plastic, the virgin
Right.
plastic. And if you see those in the vicinity, collect it, go to the environment police and see that it's stopping. So just raise awareness when we have to be careful, because it will never go away.
Right. Wendell, we want to thank you for joining us today for this very informative and educational presentation.
Thank you.
And Hans, thank you for making all of this possible.
Okay, so thank you very much also, Skip, for
You bet.
getting it all together.
Right. Tom Schneider, take it away.
I think we just had a fabulous speech, a fabulous program, education from multiple, from a long ways away, and we appreciate it. And we hope the people that come to this, on your invitation, where the Zoom link was, you could go right above it and get to this webpage that Ron says. It's Rotary SMA midday.org, but it's right there above your Zoom link, and click on that. You can donate, you can refer somebody to look at this week's meeting, and you can go into looking at previous meetings that we've had. So everybody that's here today, send one friend here, and hopefully half of them will stop by the donate button. Thanks, get back to you.
All right, thanks a lot. Next week, our Rotary presenter will be, I hope I got the name right, Gina Giampaoli. And we're going to talk about something that most of us don't want to talk about, and that's when the Grim Reaper comes. It's the 24-hour society, but I know that a lot of you are going to be interested in this. Gina is the newest director of this very important organization. So join us next Tuesday at 9:30. And with that, immediately following this meeting, Club Services Group will get together. Have a good week, everybody, and this meeting's adjourned.